users. And these base stations, they don't have to be homogeneous. Some of them could be small, some of them could be large, and a user can be served by these two types of base stations to improve the performance. Also, these users, they don't have to be served by the same frequencies. One base station can use millimeter wave frequencies, higher frequencies. Another base station can use lower frequencies. They can serve simultaneously to different users with different frequencies, with different sizes, cell sizes, large cells, small cells, higher frequencies, lower frequencies. Also, the users can be served by different technologies. LTE, 5G, and 6G can serve the same user with different types of technologies. And you can extend this further, which we call it multi-connectivity. It is one of the most critical things that's being discussed on release 17 and 18 of that 5G standardization. Similar kind of things are also being discussed in Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 7 is the next generation Wi-Fi technologies. Release 17 and 18 is the current 3GPP releases that's being under work. So multi-connectivity, dual connectivity, multi-connectivity, utilizing different types of cells, utilizing different frequencies, utilizing different technologies, utilizing different types of spectrum licensed and unlicensed. All these concepts now are generalized. Of course, saying this is very easy, but there are so much, research and so many challenges underlying with these technologies. Eventually, things are going in the direction of edgeless or borderless cells, where the classical cellular approach, where we were considering there is a cell, there is a base station serving the multiple users, but in the future we're going to be having multiple base stations with multiple properties, different properties will be serving to different users. Eventually, at any point of time, a user can be served by many base stations. This concept is also related with coordinated multiple point transmission. It is related to handoff, it is related to mobility, it is related to capacity, it is related to reliability, it is related to latency. So everything that we have been discussing in the 5G and beyond has something to do with these concepts. It's very hot, very important concept. And even for the security, we are trying to come up with some mechanisms to introduce better security mechanisms through this multi-connectivity. Again, CRAN, centralized RAN, is also related to this concept. Cloud RAN is also related to this concept. These are the areas that we are doing a lot of studies. Another thing that we have been looking at recently is network virtualization. It's a very important area. Eventually, things are going in the direction where then, we are going to have hardwares, general hardwares where, you can buy it from anybody, rather than hardware and software are bundled and multiple things are bundled together. And like Huawei is doing, like Ericsson is doing on these days, they are providing everything as a solution to the operators. And operators, they don't have any opportunity of picking and choosing different parts of the network from different vendors. So software goes with the hardware. Even the whole network functionality, like home location registry, vehicle location registry, network core, network radio access technologies. All of them are kind of one unit and provided by the same vendors. This is not good. But in the future, things are going in the direction where it's going to be like an open RAN type of architectures. So everything will be standardized. Some people will be able to have a remote radio head. Some others will be able to develop baseband units. Either some people will be able to develop, a core, and different core functionalities can also be developed by different vendors. But then on the top of this, there will be a software running, but that software can be developed also, with different people. Even a university like us can develop a network function, a virtual network function, optimized for some specific applications. Some other universities or some other companies can develop another network function that can do things better than others on some specific specialized applications. So all these network functions, whatever the function that you want to be able to run, will be virtualized, will be in software, will be optimized, and then you can pick and choose, depending on your applications. So this is how actually also the 5G deployment is going to happen. It's not going to be like LTE, deployed, as in the past. So 5G will be deployed depending on the application. The hardware is capable of doing that. The standard is also flexible enough that allows these application developers, virtual networks developers can develop these things. So eventually, I think maybe after 6G, maybe after 7G, maybe there won't be any more standards. Everything is going to be like apps. Network developers will develop all these specialized networks on a flexible platform. Right now, there isn't really flexible enough platform. 5G has provided some sort of flexibility, but we think that the 6G will be all about flexibility. Okay, so we are actually, as a research group, trying to develop that flexible platform, at least in the physical layer and MAC layer, and partially in the network level layer as well. So if we have that flexibility in the RAN, radio access, as a radio access technology, then then we can develop any way, we can transmit any waveform, any modulation, any way that we like, that is suitable for any application. And then this can be done in real time, and in software. A base station can do all, and can serve all types of users. So this is something that we have been really pushing hard, again, in the physical and MAC layer perspective. So in a nutshell, this is basically what we have been doing research. Of course, there are some specifics like NOMA, non-orthogonal multiple access, like large intelligence surfaces, many other specifics. If you have interest, I can talk about those, like MIMO, massive MIMO, beamforming, beam tracking, all kind of research that we have been doing. But those are like very specifics. What I have discussed today is really as a vision, a general umbrella of the type of research that we have been doing. So with this brief introduction, I prepared a presentation, but I thought maybe this is better to give you some highlights. With this brief introduction, I'll just stop now. If you have question and answer, we can continue further.
Thank you very much, Professor Arslan. Now, in case any of the attendees has any questions about research collaboration, about opportunities for doing graduate studies with Professor Arslan, please go ahead. I prefer that you raise your hands so that we can manage the process effectively. Anybody with questions, please.
I have some of my students. I can see some of them are also connected. you can also ask them, and they can also answer if you know. Sometimes it is more convenient for the student to say something rather than me saying it. But anyway, so if you have, this is a really a friendly environment discussions. If you have anything that worries you, any questions that you may have, it's time now. Okay, we are kind of talking.
If you allow me, I'll say a few words in Arabic to my students so that they understand better what kind of questions they can ask. الموضوع يا اخوان كالتالي. الدكتور حسين يعني عم بيعرض مواضيع الابحاث اللي هو بيشتغل فيهم، مواضيع يعني متقدمه جدا ومواضيع لها علاقه بمستقبل الاتصالات. يعني ال 5G 6G هذا هو مستقبل الاتصالات. وهو يعرض يعني ان يستضيف عدد من الطلاب بضمن المجموعه تبعته، مجموعه متميزه عالميا يعني من ارقى المجموعات العالميه. والاخت اللي تكلمت بالاول هي كانت بتلخص وضع الشهاده تاعت الجامعه عندنا بالاردن. فهم طبعا جامعه يعني عمرها قصير ولكن انجازاتها كبيره، فبيحاولوا يحصلوا على اعتماد وزاره التعليم العالي عندنا من الاردن. طبعا هاي شغله يعني بتعرفوا هي من حيث المبدا شغله صوريه، ويعني ان شاء الله هم راح يحصلوا عليها بالتاكيد. ليس هناك اي عائق يعني امام حصولهم عليها الا قضيه تقديم الطلب وقبول الطلب وما الى ذلك. فالاخت ندى يعني قالت انه هذا الاعتماد سياتي ان شاء الله مع اواخر شهر 9 على ما انا فهمته منها. وطبعا هي ممكن ايضا توضح وبتامل منها باللغه العربيه للراغبين يعني انه يسالوا بالذات عن هاي النقطه. هلا احنا خلينا مع الدكتور حسين بالاول. اللي حابب يا اخوان انه يعني عنده طموح او تطلع انه يتابع دراساته العليا بصحبه الفريق المتميز اللي عنده الدكتور حسين، بيحب يسال عن الابتعاث، كيف بيتم الابتعاث، ما شروط الابتعاث، يعني اي شيء يتعلق بهذا الابتعاث بامكانه انه يسال. حتى لو سال باللغه العربيه ما عندنا مشكله، بامكاننا ننقل الصوره للاخ الدكتور حسين بدون اي اشكال. تفضل يا اخت نسيمه. نسيمه تفضلي اسالي سؤالك.
Dr. Arslan, if you can give a brief about the hiring logistic and what you cover in your sponsorship, because most of the students in Jordan, I believe, is how to do the application, what the package they can get, what the requirement for the paperwork also to be submitted.
Okay, so let me tell you about we. As a Medipol University, we provide dormitories for the students, but they are sharing with the other students. Students can provide you some more details, the environment, plus lunch and dinner here, plus tuition is waived. We don't pay tuitions. Plus salary, basically a scholarship that provides from the projects that I get. If it is a government project from TÜBİTAK, some of our projects, actually most of our projects are from TÜBİTAK. TÜBİTAK is like a national science foundation. So they have limit on the amount that we can provide, which is 3,500 Turkish liras for PhD students. Almost all my students are PhDs. This was, decided 3 years ago. I am trying to push the head of TÜBİTAK to increase this rate, because this rate was like 3 years ago, and the inflation in Turkey has been very high recently over the last 3 years, and the value of the money is decreasing. So I think it's time that they have to increase. But again, as a professor, I'm doing my best, because Istanbul is an expensive city. For single students, one of the most expensive thing is the lodging. Okay, the house rents are expensive. For single students, we provide dormitory space, which is at least covering that part, and at least lunch and dinner. This money is sufficient, but for married students, if they want to rent apartments outside the university, this is not enough money. So it is enough for single, but it's not enough for. But then I'm trying to push, the government and see if they can increase this some more. At the same time, I'm trying to get some flexible funding from the industry, where I can just support the students some more. But this flexible money is not always possible. But I was recently able to get some money where I can. For example, we have one of the sponsors, Vestel. I talked to them to provide some more incentives for the graduate students, and they were able to add some additional funds. So again, 3,500 is what we have right now, but we are trying to find things on the top of it to relieve the students.
So you are offering the accommodation for free in addition to the salary.
True.
يعني يا اخوان، هذا هو اللي بيقوله الدكتور حسين، انه هو الطالب اللي بدرس الدراسات العليا عندهم بتأمن له السكن، والسكن من اغلى الامور باسطنبول كما قال، وبتأمن له راتب هو يأمل انه يرفعه يعني بسبب انخفاض سعر الليره التركيه الان 3500 ليره، ولكن هو ان شاء الله راح يستطيع انه يرفعه. Please let us hear the question by Yusra Ubaydat. Yusra, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Yusra Ubaydat from Yarmouk University. Thanks Dr. Arslan for your talk, and thanks Dr. Muhammad and Dr. Khalid for receiving this talk. I just have like 3 related questions. The first one, you are looking to do collaboration and hire graduate students in wireless sensor network and signal processing. My first question is, what type of background you are looking for? Like those students, what are the main major that you are looking for? And you are looking just for communication engineers, or it could be electronics engineers, or any in the field of electrical engineering? My second question is, how many students you are looking to hire? Like, is there some limit? And what type of, like, is there some competition? Do you ask students for a proposal or like cover letter before they get the admission or not? Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. So let me just answer them one by one. If I miss something, please let me know. The first question was about the background. Most of my students are from electrical engineering, electrical and electronics engineering background. Some of them are from computer engineering. I had one student who is from mechatronics engineering. So it could be from different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, really, we train the students here as well. We also provide them some materials so that they can learn if they are missing something. But some of the fundamentals that's required for our research group is digital signal processing, DSP, introduction to communications, the basics of the communications, probability random process, a good background in math. Any engineering, students will have that background, calculus and things like that. But probability random process, DSP, digital signal processing, in introduction to the communication systems, whether you took them as a computer scientist and engineers, or as an electrical engineer, or as a communication engineer, it doesn't matter where you are coming from. But these things are really needed. But if you are missing, if you some of these, you can learn them. At the end of the day, really, it's not a magic. You can always compensate those weaknesses. What I really am looking at is, students who are willing to do things. Okay, hardworking students, students who really want to accomplish something in their, PhD, want to do a really good PhD. So these are really more important for me than the background. Of course, the background, if you have a very good background, that makes things easy. But if you are missing a background, but if you're really eager, hardworking, and if you have enthusiasm to do a very good PhD, I wouldn't worry about the background. I will really look at the student itself, whether this is really a student who wants to do things, in the best manner possible. So these attitudes are more important for me than where you are coming from. Even in sometimes yes, having a very good GPA is a plus, but if let's say that Dr. Bana told me that, like, yes, Dr. Arslan, this student has less than 3.0 GPA, but I know this student, he is a very good student, very hardworking, and there may be reasons why you may have low GPA, some family reasons, something. So I understand those cases. So if somehow, some way you can show me that you are willing to do things and you are competitive and you are hardworking, or if Dr. Banat or Dr. Khalid tells me that this is a good student, take it. With my eyes closed, I will take those students. Okay, so that's the first question. How many students that I'm going to be taking? As many as possible, because we are already a big group, but we are also growing. As long as I have good students, as long as I have students where I know that I am recommended that this is really a student who can fit to my group, okay, I'm gonna take as many as possible. It could be 5, 6, 10, okay. So I don't have any limit. So that's the second question. For the application process, again, that's not the only thing, but the transcripts. I need to look at your background, the courses that you have taken. I also need to look at your GPA, your references, and all these kind of things. Again, I'm not saying that these are the things that's I don't have limits. Okay, I don't say that your GPA has to be 3.5 or above, even though some other professors have this kind of limits. I'm soft there. Okay, your GPA might be low, but you are highly recommended. So that's something for me. Okay, and your GPA may be low, but you are so eager to do things. Okay, that's something for me. So I'm gonna look at all these things. Okay, maybe we'll talk, and then after that we can make a decision. At the end of the day, I need you to be successful. Okay, I need you to be successful, and I need you to fit to my group. We are working very hard in my group. I mean, Khalid knows, everybody knows. You can talk to my students as well. We are really, very much dedicated for the excellence. We are trying our best, okay, to, train and to educate students. And we know that, hard work is the magic here, okay? Hard work and the heart, okay? A good heart together with the hard work. Of course, a good environment where you are not learning things only from me, you are learning things from your other friends. So we have a very good environment, education environment. People are discussing, people are collaborating. So this is also important. We provide that. Okay, we provide a good guidance. We try. Okay, with the right topic on the right subject, very hot subject. I myself work day and night. So we provide you all this environment, okay, to train you well. But at the same time, even if you have this environment, if you are not willing to do your best, so that doesn't work. So these two things should merge. Okay, a good environment together with a student, a willing student. If you have that, we have this, and I don't see any problem. Okay, so if these two things fit, I will take as many students as possible.
Doctor, if you allow me, I would like to add something. There was a part of Dr. Yusra's questions about competition for applicants. It's not like a competition, but all applicants go through interview. There's technical questions, and it's very, very important interview actually, because we like filtering the applicants through this interview. Technical questions, many of applicants, unfortunately, they like cheating from internet, and this is not acceptable at all. That's why it's a little bit difficult. If anyone applied for us, just be honest. I don't know. Say I don't know. That's it. It's something like advice for everyone.
Thanks for clarifying. I have another question actually. So do you prefer master's students or bachelor students are enough? Students with master's degree or with bachelor degree, or are you going to hire them as master's students or PhD, or I don't know if you understand my question.
I think, with master is preferable, but we also get direct PhD students without master. After the bachelor degree, students can apply directly to PhD. We are trying to establish a long term, because just master is, I don't do, because really it takes me a while to train students. So I want them to go, for PhD, because this is really where you do the real research. And most of the students are really more, productive when they go to the end of their, after the second year, after, they start producing more. So it is, it doesn't matter whether you are coming directly after bachelor or after master, but it's important that it has to be a PhD program.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Arslan. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Arslan, can I have a minute, please? يعني اخوانهم بيقبلوا الطالب اذا كان خريج مرحله بكالوريوس واذا كان خريج مرحله ماستر، مع تفضيل طبعا نسبي لمرحله الماستر. بفضلوا طلاب اللي معدلاتهم التراكميه اعلى شوي، ولكن المعدل التراكمي ليس الشرط الوحيد. فيعني اذا كان عنده توصيه من استاذ بيعرفه الدكتور حسين واوصى انه هذا الطالب جيد، فهذا يعني بيساعد جدا في عمليه القبول. فيعني الفرصه متاحه لخريجي مرحله البكالوريوس، مش بالضرورة فقط لطلبة الماجستير. Let's take question by سيف الدين السخني.
Okay.
سيف الدين تفضل.
Dr. Banat, before the question, let me just say something that I forgot to say.
Yes, please.
Here in this university, yes, we have one of the biggest research group in Turkey. I think it is the biggest, but I don't want to, maybe there are some in some other areas. We are producing a lot in our group, and they really like us here in the university. I recently wanted to move to another university, Istanbul Technical University. They didn't let me, I was going to move my whole group there, but they didn't let me because they really value our research here. And they try to provide all the means possible, to keep us here. Again, it doesn't matter where I am, but whether here, whether USF, whether ITU, I try my best to have the best research groups in the region. Okay,
Sure.
Again, it is not easy to do that, but this is the goal that I always had, in my mind, in my shoulders. And I am also really looking for students who are really, again, Dr. Banat, Dr. Khalid, I don't want to, exaggerate things, but I always tell my students that we are in the Premier League, for the soccer, okay? So really, I feel that, we are in the Premier League. I am competing with people who are in the Premier League, and it's not tough to be in that league. It really requires, even if you are not a player, ready enough to play in that Premier League, but we will train you, okay? We'll make you ready to play in that Premier League. But it takes some effort. It takes some, it won't happen, by itself. So that's, I really want you to know, all these students, when you come to our group, you have to be willing to play in that, in that league. This is really a tough league. And, in terms of publications, in terms of things, we really want, at least, we try to aim to play and then compete with that league. And I know that it's not easy, but we have that in our dream, in our vision.
Yeah, let me say something, Dr. Arslan. From my experience to all, yes, Dr. Arslan group, they work very hard, but believe me, the appreciation after they graduate, all of his graduated students, they are ended with good ranking position as a faculty or VP in some other position on industry. So they work hard during the BET program, but as soon as they graduate, for them it's easy to find very high quality jobs. And I know many of his graduate students, and all of them, they ended in good ranking positions.
Yeah, this is true.
Thank you, Khalid. I mean, I didn't want to say, but you are right. There isn't any day that I get a request from very top companies, very top universities, whether I have any student graduating soon. I think we got that reputation. I mean, like even the companies in the United States are kind of knocking. I mean, CEOs knocking on the door saying that, do I have anybody graduating soon? So you shouldn't worry about that. You know, your job is guaranteed if you can survive in this group.
Yes. So can we take the question by Saifuddin?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Arslan. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Banat, for this opportunity. I just sure that I'm understand this situation, that it is a PhD scholarship with position. Can I say that?
Yes, I mean, position is it's not like, you know, a faculty position. It's kind of like a, you know, scholarship. Let's call it that way.
The scholarship, yeah, it's not fixed salary. Yeah, the salary depend on your effort in the research.
I mean, there is some fixed version of that salary, but we also try to come up with some incentives, okay, to, you know, increase that salary depending on your production.
Yes. How can we apply?
So the application is, you know, you can talk to some of my other students as well. I don't know whether Barish is in the meeting. Barish, are you there in the meeting?
No, Barish is not there, Doctor. I tried to send in chat the website of our research center, but chat is not open for me. I will send it now to Dr. Muhammad Banat. Maybe he can send it to all.
Nada, if you can share your information, Nada will help you out with all the applications. Just to, you know, our school will start sometime late September, maybe early October. If you make your mind, if you apply quickly, I will make sure that I can put you in the process and then speed up the process so that we can take you here, you know, with the fall semester, this coming fall semester.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
I have one last question, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Dr. Arslan, as far as I understand, your work is mainly on wireless sensor network.
No,
so like the term is very wide. I mean, when you say wireless sensor network, I mean, I should imagine many things at the same time. So do you have a laboratory for working on sensors and then you will expand this work for wireless sensor network, or you just kind of do modeling in your research? Because I'm very interested on sensors. So I would like just to ask if you have some laboratory work and you do some wet experiments and you test and then you expand the system as a wireless sensor network.
Okay, maybe I confused you. You know, wireless sensor network is not the only research that we are doing. You know, maybe the confusion comes from this call for papers, but our research is more general than the wireless sensors network. So our application is cellular networks, Wi-Fi networks, and also sensors. So sensor network is just a small piece of what we have been doing research. So yes, you know, your other question is whether we have hardware to go with the theoretical work. Yes, we have a very good hardware labs. If you, I don't know who's controlling this, but if you go to our tools site, tools, not just the next one, the tools. Yeah. Now these are the projects, but the tools is like we have, you know, top-notch equipments in our labs. in Medipol actually. These equipments are very capable. You can generate signals, you can capture and analyze signals. There are handheld equipments, desktop equipments. You can study millimeter waves. We don't have terahertz yet. I'm looking for terahertz equipments. Halit, this is, by the way, is an area that we are getting into, terahertz, because sensing and communication is being now merged. So terahertz is very meaningful. We don't have that yet. I don't know if anybody has it. I mean, these are really the top of the line equipments, but we are really, either we are going to develop ourselves one of those by mixing them, or we are going to be finding something. I also talked to TÜBİTAK Ali Görçin. So we already have the best lab, hardware lab in Turkey. We have everything that you need. I mean, USRPs, Adam Plutos, signal generators, signal analyzers, whatever you need, we have there. Even the chambers to generate multipath. So we also teach a course, wireless laboratory course, where the students are actually learning how to use these equipments, even if they don't use them in their research. But they have to learn it through this course. Halit also have one lab like this in Qatar. He's also teaching a course. We were in our first project, actually we built that lab together with Halit. But these labs are very useful. I mean, not many universities have this kind of labs, but we were lucky to get some grants to be able to build these labs.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
So do we have more questions?
I applied for a project, don't know the answer yet, but if that project got accepted, it is basically IoT lab. We want to build the biggest IoT lab environment here in Medipol. It is a very huge project where we will be able to test all kind of technologies, including LoRa, Sigfox, NB-IoT, 5G based IoTs. So if we get this project, again, I don't know what the outcome will be, but this is a very, very good project, and I hope we receive that grant. So we will even be able to certify companies, through our centers.
Thanks. Good. So let's hear from Zena. Zena, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. I would like to ask Dr. Huseyin about, do you take suggestions from your students about what project you should work on next?
Well, we always meet with the students. We always have brainstorming meetings. I have my thoughts, but I also want to hear about their thoughts. In terms, I mean, like, it's not like, I give them, you have to do this. I give them the directions, but at the end of the day, they also provide their own opinions, their own ideas. But I have to be convinced. I mean, we have to make sure that we talk about that. It is really a project that it's a good path for their success. So if you have a good idea, if you have a good path, after we talk through it, if we are both convinced that this is the right thing to do, of course I listen and I encourage, actually.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you very much.
Excellent. Excellent.
To come up with their own paths, because I am not, alone capable of generating ideas for all the students. I'm not able to generate, it's a collective effort. So most of the time it comes from them.
Great. Great. So any more questions? But it seems people have, yes, please.
Maybe, again, I may have said something wrong, these are like, I sincerely try to convey to you, I have my own students here. Please, Sheima, Ahmad, or anybody would like to say a few things. Maybe to help out the other students. I mean, you don't have to really say good things all the way. You can also say some of the weaknesses. So please,
They cannot say the weakness in front of you, Arslan.
Well, okay, then they can talk later on. Then I mean,
don't worry. We have a very good idea about yourself and your group and working with you and everything. So, if you allow me to summarize, people who are interested in applying to PhD studies at multiple universities within the group with Professor Arslan can easily apply. They all need to do is to reach me or reach Nada Misk with their transcript and CV. Am I correct? And then based on an initial evaluation, Professor Arslan may expedite the process of acceptance into the fall semester, which means in less than 2 months, you can be with Professor Arslan's group.
Yes.
If you are good enough and if you follow the procedure correctly.
That's true. And later, by the end of your PhD, if you want to go, you can go to Qatar, work with Khalid, because we always collaborate. 2 of my students actually are with Khalid now. And almost 50% of my students end up, working with Khalid one way or another. Or some other professors as well. We collaborate with him. I'm glad that he's here as well, Ali. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Arslan.
Yeah, seems we have another question from Saif.
Dr. Muhammad, can I get your email?
Yes, I'll share it with the whole group now. Just watch the chat window.
Okay.
Nada, maybe you can also write your email, Nada.
I don't have permission to write actually, but Dr. Banat has my email also. Yeah. If you can share it, please.
I can link anybody to you, Nada, no problem.
Thank you. By the way,
Doctor, sorry.
Yep.
I have just shared my email address. Yes, please.
Hi, Doctor. I just want to ask you if you can go to your email and the link to apply our CD to the link, please.
You can send your CV and whatever other information you want to me, and I'll send it to Nada.
Yes, sir. But the email, please.
The email is now you can find it in the chat window. If you go to the chat window of this meeting.
Actually, I can't see it. I don't know.
Have you opened the chat window?
It seems hidden or something, the chat window.
Well, okay, my email is Banat, BANAT, @just.edu.jo. BANAT, @just.edu.jo.
So if you want, if you have difficulty in reaching Dr. Banat, you can also search for our group in internet. And maybe you can find. I'm sure you can find us in COSING. COSING is the group name, communication signal.
Yes, I shared the website. I don't know if they catch it.
I received it. I received it already. I received it a few minutes ago.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Banat, thank you very much for organizing this. I really appreciate it. And
thanks to you. Thanks to you.
Looking forward to see you face to face soon. And
thanks to you. Yeah, me too. Me too. That would be a great pleasure. And we are very thankful to you for being with us and for offering so many good opportunities for our students. And we are looking forward to the next meeting, inshallah, face to face.
Okay, inshallah.
Dr. Khalid, same thing to you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, and thank you all for attending.
Khalid, we are looking forward to see you soon, inshallah.
Thank you, Dr. Banat, for this organization.
ونشكر الجميع إن شاء الله على حضورهم ومشاركتهم وإن شاء الله يعني I hope everybody will finally be satisfied and happy with whatever they achieve. Inshallah. Thank you all. See you next time.
دكتور أسأل إذا في حدا عنده أي سؤال بخصوص الاعتراف من الأردن.
تفضلوا إذا حد من الطلاب عنده سؤال لندى عن الموضوع الاعتراف بالذات، أو يعني معادلة الشهادة بمعنى آخر.
نعم.
يعني يبدو لي هم عرفوا إنه الآن موضوع الاعتراف قيد التنفيذ إن شاء الله، والموضوع موضوع شهر إلى شهرين يعني على أكثر تقدير.
نعم صحيح.
وهذا يعني سيتم قبل حتى قبولهم إن شاء الله بالجامعة التركية. All right, thank you all.
Okay.
Right. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.